Welcome back to R.A.I.N. This is part 2 of my video series, Democracy is Treason. I left off with reading Congressional Record, or 76 Congress, Congressional Record. I would like to expand on that a little bit. Well, I would like to talk about it a little bit more. And I want to reread a couple of things to you. For instance, 1913 was the very year we changed our government from a republic to a semi-democracy. Okay? Now I'm going to go back to the definition of treason. Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, page 1672. The offense of attempting by overt acts to overthrow the government. When they just said that they overthrew the republic and they formed a semi-democracy, well, there's your treason. Or of betraying the state into the hands of a foreign power. Keep that in mind. Betraying the state into the hands of a foreign power. Let's go back to that congressional records. And 1913, the year in which we destroyed constitutional government, international security, and paved the road for us to become a colony of the British Empire. It was also the same year in which we, by adopting the Federal Reserve Act, placed our treasury under the control and domination of the Bank of England and the international banking groups. Alright? So there's your treason right there. Next, I would like to go over some case law. I'm reading from my notes here, so none of my videos are scripted or edited. I'm just giving it to you raw. Case law. Got that in my book also. I've read this before. United States is a foreign European corporation conducting trade and commerce in foreign lands. U.S. versus Perkins, 163 U.S. 625. I'd also like to read another case law. The U.S. citizens residing in one of the states of the Union are classified as property and franchises of the federal government as an individual entity, as Wheeling Steel Corp. Versus Fox, 298 U.S. 193. Okay, I got one more case law to read to you. Just bear with me for a second. Okay. Supreme Court held. This point was made clear in Downs versus Bidwell, 182 U.S. 244, years 1901. Justice Harlan states, quote, "Two national governments exist, one to be maintained under the Constitution with all its restrictions, the other to be maintained by Congress outside and independently of that instrument." Now, if you do your research on that on that case, that that Downs versus Bidwell. It was concerning. Whether or not the Constitution covers the territories that the United States um, acquired from the so-called Spanish-American War that happened in 1898. They acquired United States acquired Puerto Rico, Guam, Philippines, and some other territories, and this law case dealt with that, and Congress has they have the well, they're exercising the authority to legislate laws in those territories. But that's not what the Constitution really says. I'm gonna take you back to the Constitution. This is Article 1, Section 8. To exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district not exceeding 10 miles square as may by session of particular states and the acceptance of Congress become the seat of the government of the United States, and to exercise like authority over all places purchased by the consent of the legislature of the state in which the same shall be, for the erection of forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and other needful buildings. Okay? That was for the creation of what is now known as Washington, D.C., but I covered this in another video, the Act of 1871, where they created a corporate municipality where it was like it had the powers of a regular state, like state of Maryland or state of Virginia, but the Constitution does not grant them the authority to make something like that. They were only supposed to legislate the laws in that 10 square area that they call Washington, D.C. That's it. Not create a whole nother state. Let's just say a whole nother state. It's not a state, but they created something like a state. Not supposed to do that. And let's get back to the territories that the United States acquired from the Spanish-American War, the so-called Spanish-American War. The Constitution does not authorize them to acquire any properties outside of the landmass of the so-called United States of America. It doesn't allow them to do that. It only said the 10 square mile, and the states had to cede land to this. It didn't say anything about acquiring any other territories from a different state that they were at war against. When I say state, I mean another nation. In that case, Spanish-American War, obviously it was Spain. But I'm going to let you marinate on that. And this is the end of part 2. I will see you in part 3. Peace.